Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Um, Firstly, thank you for the opportunity to interview me for this blog. My name is Ntsoaki, and I'm behind the vision that is Beyond Ability Talent Solutions. And what we do is that we recruit and place persons with disabilities into formal employment. Yeah, we also ensure that persons with disabilities have an enabled environment and are thriving in that environment.
Wow, interesting. So, why people with disabilities out of all the categories?
Um, well, I want to believe that there are a number of issues that affect the society. However, in certain instances, there are certain issues that do not get attention. And with regard to persons with disabilities, it's because for me personally, it's because I feel that persons with disabilities need to be given a chance to participate equally in our society. And also of importance to me, I believe that persons with disabilities need to be able to support themselves and not rely on social welfare or grants for their welfare.
Cool. So, where do you see yourself and your organization in the next 8 years?
Where do we see ourselves in the next 8 years? We see ourselves in a situation where, for instance, we'll be having a skill center that that also enables learning, has all the necessary tools that will ensure that persons with disabilities can be able to achieve and pass in that environment. So we also see ourselves having an executive leadership school. Because for instance, we believe that currently there is a shortage of executive talent with disabilities. So we see ourselves in a situation whereby persons with disabilities will have a business and leadership college dedicated to empowering them.
Cool. So, what do you think about the current state of affairs in our country?
Well, it's a mixed bag. One, you have a situation where, for instance, the media is not doing a good job of portraying all that is good and that is happening in the country. Whereby, for instance, you find the media is focusing on a few individuals who are leading us as a country. At the same time, yes, it is good to keep these leaders' attention. However, at the same time, they're not supposed to be our main focus as a country. I also believe that, for instance, certain issues that affect us as a country needs to be given some form of attention as well. It's just that we can be able to address or come up with solutions if there are some solutions that are needed. But at the same time, you also have a situation where, for instance, the society is now pessimistic and negative about the country, and whereby, for instance, no one is coming up with solutions, and yet everyone is more for highlighting the problems of the country, but not necessarily the solutions. And I feel that, for instance, as a country, we need to relook ourselves and revisit how we relate to our leaders, we relate to one another, and how we and also assess our patriotism as a country.
Cool. So, with all that said, where do you see South Africa in the next 10 years?
Well, I see South Africa being in a much better environment because of currently, from the generation that I'm in, I'm now part of a generation that believes in education, part of a generation that that is limitless in their thinking, that that dreams big, and I feel that all of this can only mean that South Africa should expect better.
Thank you. So, lastly, what's your advice for the youth?
My advice for the youth will be mostly to try and identify what they're passionate about, try and identify what is their purpose, talk to people around them as to what excites them, where their talents lie, where their abilities lie, because it'll be easier for them to identify their passion. And for me, my experience has taught me that if you are aligned to your values, your reason for waking up every day is aligned to your purpose or your reason for being, it's much easier to embrace life and have life because for instance, I mean, you're enjoying what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing, and consequently it's even easier to address the problems that are facing you.
Wow. Thank you very much for your time, Sister Ntsoaki. This means a lot to us as SlyTV. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye. Cool.